Hey everybody, welcome back to Drinks and a Movie. Chris Hamker here with you. Today we'll be talking about the new sci-fi movie Annihilation. But first, let's of course start with a drink. And today's drink is called the Shimmer, which has a little bit something to do with the movie, but the Shimmer is very easy. It's kind of just an alternate take on the gin and tonic. And the Shimmer is 2 parts gin, dry London dry gin, beefeater, and 1 part Viniq, which gives it its little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of a cool little look to it, and then Tonic, excuse me. Put it into a rocks glass, stir it up, add some ice, and then enjoy. All right, let's make this drink and talk about Annihilation. So, Annihilation is written and directed by Alex Garland and based on the novel by Jeff Vandermeer and stars Natalie Portman in this thinking man's sci-fi, thriller, horror, psychological, paranoia, Odyssey of the Mind type movie, and I'm going to be a little bit vague on this one because I feel like it's best to go into this movie not knowing very much. So I might be a little vague. Oh, or a lot of Viniq. Jesus. And then bit of tonic. Clankety clankety clank, and look at that cool little shimmery old the Shimmer. Add some ice. I bet you're wondering where I got that ice. There was a blizzard here earlier. The shit is just everywhere. All right, let's try this drink. Here is to Annihilation and the Shimmer, and cheers everybody. Well, that's a lot of gin. So I really thought about what I can tell you about this movie, and what I'm going to just do a little sum up of what you can see in the trailers is that Natalie Portman is a part of a 5-person, all-woman team that go into this place that has been dubbed the Shimmer. And it's just like this phenomenon that has cropped up on the coast of Florida, and anybody that goes into it never returns. And that's pretty much all I can tell you. This movie is, I was very excited for because it is the second movie of Alex Garland, and Alex Garland did Ex Machina about 4 years ago, and I was really excited about his return to, writing and directing because I really liked Ex Machina. It was also very much a thinking man's movie, but it was also dealt with artificial intelligence and the dangers therein. And so what did I think about Annihilation? Well, let me just start by telling you about my experience upon leaving the theater after seeing Annihilation. I saw this movie with about 20 other people, and as we were leaving, the credits rolled as we were leaving, I tried to make a real conscious effort to, and I kept saying to myself, don't look confused, don't look confused, don't look confused. So I was walking around, and then I got to my car and I was a little pissed off because this movie confused me, and so I was like, you know what, fuck you movie, fuck you Alex Garland, fuck you Natalie Portman, but not really because you're kind of sweet. Well, fuck me for not understanding some of the stuff, fuck you Darren Aronofsky, fuck you Willy Wonka, and fuck metaphors. But then I took a minute and I really started to think about the movie and really started to realize that this movie has a lot to say. It is, when I say thinking man science fiction, it really is. It delves into subject matters like the human condition, the self-destructive inevitability of humanity, sadness, depression, regret, and it does this in such a way that really makes you think. I mean, this movie's purpose is to get people to talk and to discuss and to really look at themselves, as all good science fiction does. And I think this movie is a good to great science fiction film. it's not very accessible. I would say it's a very good film, but I don't know if a lot of people are going to really enjoy it because it does challenge you. It's not quite as good. I'll give it this. It's not quite as good as Arrival, but it's not quite as inaccessible as a movie called Under the Skin that Scarlett Johansson was in a couple of years ago that was also very much a thinking man's science fiction, and it dealt with a lot of things, that this movie does, but this movie is at least a little more straightforward than Under the Skin, but I don't think quite reaches the level of Arrival. Still a very good movie, though. Now, even though I didn't understand all of it fully, especially the end, which is a little bit of a negative for me, I think really enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind a couple more days to really think about it, to really wrap my head around it, but one of the things I really liked about it was the performances. Natalie Portman in particular gave this kind of quiet yet strong, performance. There was a surprise Tessa Thompson in there. I love Tessa Thompson from Creed and from Thor Ragnarok. She was great. Jennifer Jason Leigh popping up again after Hateful Eight was really a nice surprise. That's what I mean by, going into it, I didn't really know a lot about it, and all of these things really surprised me. All of them are very solid performances. Oscar Isaac has a nice little small but sort of creepy role in it. And Jane the Virgin's Gina Rodriguez is totally different. She's very strong and sort of commanding, and she gives a great performance. All the performances across the board are really solid. So this movie also looked gorgeous. I mean, the way the set design is with the look inside the Shimmer was kind of mesmerizing. It was otherworldly, but also being set on Earth. There's brilliant colors. There's just the way they just sort of played with the plant life and just the way things kind of looked sort of off, but sort of familiar at the same time. And of course, if you saw Ex Machina, then you would know that the special effects are impeccable. I mean, they're astounding. There's some really unsettling body horror moments, but the effects on those were so good that it just really draws you in completely. And I just thought the film just had this sort of strange, sort of antiseptic look to it, but also sort of dreamlike at the same time, and I think that was very intentional, and I thought very well done. Now, this film also had some really extraordinary moments in them. There's a scene toward the end of the film that made me really uncomfortable and made my skin crawl and was really tense and just like I said, totally uncomfortable. And I got real antsy. And this movie just provides some really tense and claustrophobic moments, more so than any movie in recent history I can remember. And it does these little moments here and there that really ramp up everything, which is good because I think the film did have a tendency to meander a little bit and kind of you wanted things to get going every so often, and I think Alex Garland really knew when to hit you with these moments because they were right on the edge of getting kind of boring and a little too slow. But then once those moments, once that kind of started to, you get that feeling, then these incredible like moments and almost little set pieces happen and really bring you right back into the story. Now this movie, of course, isn't perfect either. And I mentioned the fact that it does tend to be a little bit slow and meander a little bit, and then things ramp back up. I also think some of the character motivations and some of the things that happen are a little bit cliched, but that's really not the point of the movie. I think there's a lot more going on than just the individual character motivations. Some of the things you see in the trailer, they're all carrying these M16s, and I mean, it was really like Oprah. It was like, you get an M16, and you get an M16, and you get an M16, which I don't know if every character had the background, or at least the background that they told us about, to really be able to carry an M16. I know I couldn't just go out and just, carry an M16 because I've had no experience with them. So there's that. Also, I got the feeling that the film didn't really know what it wanted to be. And what I mean by that is that what type of movie is it? Is it a high-minded science fiction film? Is it a monster in the woods film? Is it a time-bending, confusing film? Is it a paranoia turn on each other film? It kind of had little bits of each one of these things, and each one of these things had its moments, but it just didn't seem very consistent to me as to what type of movie it was, and so that to me is a little kind of tonally off, not tonally off, but just you got to kind of pick one at a certain point, and just having like one of each just sort of clutters things up a bit. Plus, with all those things that I mentioned going on in the film, they even found time to have this kind of side plot that I don't think added anything to Natalie Portman's character, that really did tend to drag everything down, like I mentioned. And I think if they'd have cut that out completely, then they would have been a lot better. Okay, the last thing I had a problem with, and no spoilers, I swear no spoilers, but right at the beginning, this film gives away the mystery of what's going on, and this is also something that a lot of movies do that I really don't like, and it very rarely works. Is this movie is kind of built as a frame story, but also it uses flashbacks and flash forwards to tell this story, and so you kind of know the ending before you even get to the ending, and that seldom works for me, and it really, really took me out of this movie. I would have been completely fine with it being completely linear and not giving away the mystery at the beginning, and then you kind of discover things as the characters do, as they think Alex Garland wanted it to be in the first place, because it's kind of a confusing movie. It's kind of a movie where you don't know what's going on a lot of the time, and you're a little bit lost, but so are the characters, so it kind of makes sense at the same time. But then when they do these kind of flashbacks and flash forwards in this sort of frame story, it just doesn't, it takes away all the tension to me, and that really didn't work for me, and I'm really kind of sad that they did it that way. All in all, I really did like this film. The more and more I think about it, the more I like it, the more I like, what's going on in the film. I'll be honest, I don't understand a lot of the stuff. I didn't get it. I don't get a lot of the metaphors, because I'm not sitting there during the movie trying to decipher metaphors. I'm just trying to take in the story that's being presented to me by the filmmaker. So I go back and forth on this idea of, well, it's better because it's this metaphor, it's this idea, which is fine, but that shouldn't be everything. I mean, this is almost, and not quite as bad, not nearly as bad, but this is almost like a science fiction Mother, the Darren Aronofsky movie from the last fall, the Jennifer Lawrence Mother. It's almost like that, but just with science fiction, but it's not nearly as bad. But a movie should not rely on the fact that it's built upon metaphor to enjoy it, and this movie does a little bit, because there's an ending bit that I still don't understand and know what it means, and so I go, but does that detract from the film, or do I just not get it? And that may be, but you shouldn't have to do that. So, long story short, if you like smart, high-minded science fiction, then go see it, and absolutely go see it, because it is a gorgeous film. There's a lot going on. It has a lot to say, and I think it's not a film that's made very often. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Have a drink on me. If you like this, please like, share, subscribe down here at the bottom. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.